All right. So let's start the class. And big question, what are we going to do today? According to the program from our class, we are supposed to be finishing about talking about interviews. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to refresh our minds in everything that we have learned about interviews, not just job interviews. If you remember, when we started this unit, we started talking about interviewing a friend, interviewing a person that you don't know, a strange person,
Professor.
interviewing also a professor or a teacher, right? And then we move forward to the interviewing part for the job position. Since you are in the 8th semester, since you are finishing school very soon, very soon, then we kept talking about the process of getting an interview, and we talk about your resumes and curriculum vitae, but mainly because this is a class in English, we talk about the resume. And yes, the interview questions, what you should do and what you should not do on an interview. We talk about all of those points, and we try to give you advices to perform in the best manner that you could whenever you get an interview, right? So since this is very formal. And to just close the unit, to finish up, today we're going to cover just to refresh your minds, we're going to cover a little bit more about the job interview. And in the hope that you guys are going to be getting interviews very soon. Hopefully, you are getting ready for that and you are going to start not just practicing, but start with the real questions and with the real experience. Every time that you get an interview, that's you can count it as the experience. It doesn't matter if at the first time you didn't get the job, at least you get experience and you know that for the next time, the very next time, you're going to do much better. And that's the whole purpose of practicing and getting more interviews. All right. So, like I said, we're going to finish unit 2, which is about the interviews. And the very last part is just to talk about the job interviews. So, what we're going to cover today, it's about the reasons why people are not hired. Oh, I got a mistake over there. And we have an activity, we have a group discussion, which you can guess, since this is a conversation seminar, you are going to participate. And I'm going to take notes about the points from you. And then we're going to cover a few tips about getting an online interview, since right now we are going through a pandemic situation. Several interviews could be happening during a video conference. So we're going to cover a few tips. And last but not least, something that it is very important after you get an interview, what you should be doing. So we're going to talk about the follow-up and after the interview. And the main goal for you is to get hired. It doesn't matter that right now you're looking for an internship position. Remember that you are not actually covering the job position, but an internship, which we call it in Universidad de la Sierra, we call it estadía, which is actually a straight translation for internship. Okay. So you want to get hired for your internship in order to the first step that you need to finish is in order to graduate as an industrial engineering in productivity and quality. So you want to graduate. That's your main goal right now. Okay. So let's continue. Just to remember some of these things, we covered some of this in the last few classes when we talk about the don'ts the actual things that you're not supposed to be doing. No. So these are most common reasons why people are not getting hired at a job, or as you can see from the picture over here, why people get rejected from a job application. So we can just cover the list over here pretty quickly if we can. So first thing will be because bad personal appearance. Remember that we talk about that, how you're supposed to look very sharp, neat, clean, dressed up. So yeah, but personal appearance should be definitely a no. If a person is too aggressive, that would be something to make him or make her not get the job position. Unable to express self clearly. I want to make sure that you understand this one here. One of the main reasons why I gave you those 40 questions, the most common questions on an interview that you can get, is for you to be able to express yourself clearly. It's for you to know what to expect. And in any situation for any job interview, you are expected to know yourself. You are expected to explain yourself. You are expected to answer to those type of questions. And yeah, that was the main reason why you had that set of questions. Like I said before, even if that was a homework, I told you, if you're going to answer it just because it's a homework, you're lost. You're losing yourself, because it's not just about answering for a homework. It's about answering for your own good, because it's going to help you perform better on an interview. Okay, the following one is about poor interest and enthusiasm. If you cannot show that you are interested into that position, you're never gonna get that job. No career planning when the person has no goals, but this is not your situation, because thankfully I had the opportunity this time over this semester to be covering a different class, a different course with you guys. And I already know that you do have goals, professional and personal, which is perfect. That's very good. So you shouldn't be having problems on that one. Overly nervous and underconfident. That's a really bad one. And that's why we overcome that one with practice. Practice gets you better. It makes you better. Too much emphasis on money. Like we said before in one of our classes, don't ask about the salary or the money unless your interviewer brings it up to the table. What I'm saying is, unless it comes to the conversation, then you can talk about the salary. Otherwise, if you talk too much about the money, they are not going to hire you. So you're out. Not willing to start at the bottom. When there's a lot of people that they believe that they are the best of the best, but they don't have what it takes. So you are supposed to start at the bottom and then keep growing from there. It doesn't matter if you are an engineer or not. You are supposed to learn from the different positions. And it's better for you also. If you are discourteous, meaning of that you don't have the values, disrespectful, and so on. If you are immature, I'm just laughing about that one. Hopefully, none of you have this situation. If someone speaks ill of former employers, that's really bad, because you know, if that person is speaking wrongly about the other people, they're normally going to speak back in the same way, wrongly about yourself too. So it's like, you don't want to hire those kind of people. No. Cannot make eye contact with interviewer. If you cannot look at him or her straight to the eye, remember about the do's and don'ts that we talked about last class. Eye contact is so important. Messy application form. It shows that you are a messy person. So it's like, why am I going to hire you if you already are making a mess. Late arrival for interviews, not being on time, which is very bad. Did not show appreciation for interviewers' time, asked no questions about the company, and well, it shows that you were not prepared. And last but not least, it could not give direct answers with questions. So definitely, it's really bad. If you cannot answer the questions, it's like you are not prepared. Why are you even here? So I just wanted to make a resume of those situations that will make you not get the job. So make sure that nothing like this happens to you and you're supposed to be doing good. All right, so let's go to next slide. Now, we're gonna have an activity. That's what I was saying before when we were starting. I'm losing my pen. Sorry about that. So we're going to have an activity which is about answering some of these following questions, and this is a group discussion. So right now I'm inviting you to open up your mics, your microphones, and start participating and talking about this. And we will go question by question, and I'm expecting your participation. It is like the round table, but since we are in a video conference, there's no table, it's just you and me and everybody here. So please, let's go to the first question. And what are your thoughts? This is just about your thoughts about these following questions. Question number 1. After sending your curriculum vitae or your resume and letter of application, which is usually something that accompanies your curriculum, if you are sending it through email, you're going to write a letter explaining why are you sending your curriculum vitae to that company. What comes next? What happens after you send your curriculum or your resume to a company? What comes next? What happens? What you should, okay, go ahead.
We wait so they can call us.
Correct, that's a good answer. Do you think that something else might happen? Thank you, Carmen. I already took your point. Okay, so one of the things is about, yeah, you wait for someone to call you. So that's a point, you wait. Okay, what else? Does anybody else has another idea? You wait for someone to call you or to contact you, because it could be some contact directly through email. Anna, you wanted to participate?
The confirmation or notification to the university.
Okay, you got a different point, which is also very important. Since you are applying for an internship, you might be waiting for the confirmation from or to the university, right? Because it could be also to, from or to the university. Good point. That's going to happen. Yes, of course. Something else that you guys have in mind? I already took your point, Anna. Another person? We can accept another participation. That's perfect.
Prepared for a possible interview.
Ah, that's great, Gabi. So you should be using that time to prepare. So prepare for a possible interview. That's awesome because that can happen. Okay. So get ready for it. Get ready. Great. That's awesome. Another idea?
Why for the company to call you to do the exam they ask to see if you are fit for the position.
For the position. Yeah, that can also happen. So many companies don't just interview you about just questions. They also give you exams. And some companies give you the exams first. So they are waiting to see your results. And if they like your results, they give you the interview. Yeah,
Psychometric test.
yes, that does some exams are psychometric exam. Yep. Agustin says, send your curriculum vitae or letter to another company in case they do not accept you in the one you already tried, in order to have more options in case they don't call you there. Wow, that's great, Agustin. Yes, you should keep sending more applications. So it's like send more applications to several companies. That's great. So, yes, so that was Agustin. Good. Very, very good. That's correct. Do you have a different idea or something else that you want to add? We're fine? Okay. So summing or adding everything up, yes, it's correct. All of what your classmates mentioned, it's correct. You wait. You see if the university has a contact for the confirmation. You prepare for the possible interview, which is so important. If exams happened, then you get ready for those and you hope for the best. And also, you keep sending applications. Like we talked about this before, it's about hundreds of applications that you need to send out. Because even if you know a person in a company and you are like very sure that you can get the job position over there or the internship for this case, you are not 100% sure. So you need to keep sending applications to be able to find a position. And also, if you're looking for your dream job, you should be sending several applications in order to find that real dream job. Yes, correct. So let's move on, and we have finished in cover number 1. Let's go with number 2. Let's see. Number 2, it's telling us, what kind of questions do you expect to have? You should be experts right now. And let's see who's going to participate right now. What kind of questions should or do you expect to have?
Tell me about yourself.
You were with the same one, with the first one. That's awesome. Tell me about yourself. Yourself. Connie, you raised your hand. Perfect.
What are your personal interests?
Oh, that's important. Well, what are your personal interests? What are your personal interests? Okay, that's good. Let's see who else is wanting to participate. Fernanda Llanes.
Could be, how do you say yourself in 5 years?
Uh-huh. How do you see yourself in about 5 years? Okay, good, good, good. There was Carmen, I think.
Anna.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do we want to do our internship there?
The reason for wanting that company. Yes. And there's also Gilberto raising his hand.
What do you
How
expect?
Yeah,
how
Gilberto.
do you find out about us?
How do you find about us? How did you find about us? You see this one? This is very easy to participate because you have the set of questions with you already. No? There was Valeria, and I also have participations in the chat that I'm gonna check that after the actual voice participation, because it's a conversation seminar, but mainly should be verbally. Speaking of. Okay, so Valeria?
What will you bring to our company?
What are the assets that you're bringing to the company?
Professor,
Yes?
what do you expect from our company?
What do you expect?
Yes.
Okay, so your expectations. Good, good, good. Good. Any other that is it's orally? No? So let's see in the chat. So we have Diana mentioning, what can you contribute to the company? There was one question about that. What are the assets that you bring into the company? Fernanda mentioned that one, but I'm going to take your question, Diana. It's fine. And then we have Gabriela mentioning a more broader situation, which is questions about career. Then Agustin, why should I hire you? Which, if you remember, what Agustin is mentioning is you need to separate yourself from the rest of the engineers, and you need to show the uniqueness that you have, why you are different and better than the others. Diana, how mucho do you hope? What? Can you explain that, the last one? Because I didn't understand the last question that you were mentioning there. There's a word, I think, in Spanish also into that question. So you should try to phrase it different. So these are just a few of the list that we already have, and the ones that you are been practicing and taking a look into, even in videos about what can happen on an interview. Any other that you want to include in here? Ramon, go ahead.
Another question can be, when do you want to learn from this internship?
That can also happen, of course. What do you want to learn from this internship? Yes. So we have Diana, what salary are you expecting? Yes, if they ask you, of course. So on that question, you guys need to do some research, some more research about what kind of salary, because to be able to answer that question is really tricky. If you answer above what you're supposed to expect, that's kind of wrongly understood. So it can take the interview to the wrong way, and it can actually kill the interview. But if you ask less amount, they can actually give you that amount, and it's not going to be fair. So you need to do some research about it, investigate this thoroughly about the company and about the normal salaries that are around, and ask. If they ask you, then just mention that. Okay, so I'm okay with it, but I could accept something in between this range, and you could explain why also. It will depend on the company, and like I'm saying, it's dependable on what they can pay you. But like I'm saying, if you ask for a less amount, they are going to explode you. You don't want that to happen. All right, so next question. Let's go to the next question. Question number 3. We finished with 1 and 2. Number 3. Are there any details that might influence your interviewer's decision? Meaning, the person who is interviewing you. Are there any details that might influence your interviewer's decision? And think about this. These could be details that are good, or these could be details that are bad. So you can think in any of those cases and participate over here. So I have 3 participants raising their hands. So I have Ramon, then Carmen, then Gilberto. Ramon? And Ana, it's also waiting. Ramon?
Sorry.
No? Okay, Gilberto?
Okay. Say I can be a great asset to your company.
Okay, so that's a comment. Okay, so we are going to put it as a global thing. So comments. Comments could be a good detail. Remember that we're checking any details. So good comments could help. Okay, good. And then Carmen?
Our attitude.
Okay. Attitude. The attitude will help, of course. Ana?
I was going to mention the attitude that we show.
Okay, that's good. You're thinking on the same page. Connie?
The opportunity of increase and learn more about that position.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand this. The opportunity to learn. Okay, but in order to answer to the question, are there any details that might influence your interviewer's decision? This probably goes with the same as Gilberto proposed over here about comments. The comments that you give, that could be a detail. So Anna, you want to go back with another participation?
The confidence that we show.
That's good too. Confidence. That's a detail that is really good. Confidence. And we have over the chat, we have on time maybe. That's part of the attitude, Radnael. And Diana, security, which is about not security, it will be about confidence, the same thing as Anna mentioned. And Diana. And Gabriela said personal image. Okay, we can count it as a detail. Personal image. Okay, good. Any other that you guys can think of? No? Let me remind you.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, go
Can
ahead.
it be vocabulary?
Can it be what? Can you repeat that, please?
Vocabulary?
Vocabulary. Probably we can translate that part as the your communication skills. Because that can include vocabulary, and it can also include verbal skills and written skills. So it will be better to put them in just one range of skills, a set of skills.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's good. It's good one too. That was Maria. Yeah, I already counted you one. Good. So yes, those are details. Remember other things like not just the attitude, but also showing yourselves as you, like not pretend to be someone else, not lying, being a down-to-earth person. Like those are also details that are important that you need to show yourself, and not nervous. Remember that thing. You need to remember to practice a lot to not show that you are nervous. And so let's go to the next question. Question number 4. Have you ever heard of dress code? What do you think this means? This is an easy question. Go ahead and try to participate. Anna, you want to participate? Go ahead.
To make a good impression.
Yes and no. Okay, let's hear from the other ones and then I'm going to clarify that. Then goes Gilberto.
Yes, you must be presentable to make a pretty good impression.
Okay, so presentable, what's that? Are you making those words up? Okay, so I'm going to go back to something that we already mentioned. Personal image, it's about that. There were some opinions in the chat, I think, maybe not. I seem to not be able to get access. There is one person, formal or informal what? Diana, you haven't finished speaking over there because you are not finishing a sentence. You need to complete a sentence to be able to understand what you are trying to say. So please keep writing and I'll check with you again. So dress code. It is about what you're supposed to wear and not to wear. The dress code exists in most of the companies. So it's include also, they can also include the safetiness into the dress code. Why am I talking about safety right now? Because they might refer to shoes, they might refer to long sleeve shirts. So they are going to let you know about that and how to wear your hair. If your hair is down, maybe you should have it up. So it refers to everything on how you present yourselves. And that's why we are considering this part or mentioning personal image. Okay. So Diana, did you finish your comment? I couldn't take it. Okay, Gabriela, I don't know how to raise hand. It means dress according to occasion. Yeah, that's correct, Gabriela. Gabriela, over there, when you see the people that are present in the conference, you click on it, and there should be an option that says raise hand. It gives you the opportunity to raise a hand over there. Ah, now you know it. Yes, now you raise the hand. Good. Dress formal or informal depending of the situation. Correct, Diana. Now we can understand what you were saying. So it's about how you dress yourself in that company. And like I said, it exists in almost every company. If they don't have it written down, they still know, and you can ask and learn if they do have a dress code, if they don't tell you, of course. so that the image we give is consistent with the company, says Anna. Oh, yeah, now you're talking, Anna. Now you're getting the idea. Yes, it's about getting yourself in the same way as how the company is showing itself. So you are going to use their dress code to look the same way or the proper way that you're supposed to be with them. Diana, for the Vortex Congress, they asked for formal dress. Ah, that's good. That's good. You actually have experience with dress code. That's really good. Oh, when Congress, when conferences used to happen, yeah, it used to be a normal thing, but it's been about 2 years. Okay. So I guess that you were the ones that were the last ones to go to a conference as students in our university. Too sad. Oh, okay. Going back to the class. I think it helps us to feel safe, mentions Valeria. Yes. But in order to feel safe about what you're wearing for an interview, you need to ask for the dress code. So it's a good comment. Make sure to ask if you want to feel safe. Valeria. Good. Very good. All right. Really, really good. Also, it gives us more confidence. Connie, yes, continuing with what Valeria was mentioning. Connie, you're correct. Hey, people, you are using too much of the chat. Go ahead and speak. Remember that this is about speaking, not just using the chat. You need to practice a little more on your speaking abilities, okay? Please. All right, so let's move on to the next question, which is question number 5. How can you make a good first impression on a job interview? All right, so I already have people trying to participate. Alex, go ahead. Alex.
With the clothes you wear and the fragrance.
Okay, the first impression will include your clothes, your clothing, okay.
And the fragrance.
Remember about that one that you should avoid huge smells, and if possible, avoid wearing any cologne or perfume. But you should smell clean, just clean. Okay. Yes, clothing is part of it, but it's not all of it. So, Carmen, you're next.
With our image, I think it's the most important. I don't know.
Okay, so it's related to clothing. Yes, but it's not the most important. It's part of it. I'm gonna make that clear. Agustin?
Be on time or explain your quality honestly, or maybe make it clear that you know the company.
Okay, be on time and make clear that you know the company. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Then goes Connie.
Also speak clearly and answer correctly.
Speak clearly and answer correctly. Okay, that's also very good. Speak clearly. I'm going to just believe that speaking clearly will be with the answers. Then goes Anna.
I think punctuality is important.
Okay, so that will also be part of giving a good first impression. Punctuality.
Teacher, the experience in your resume.
Alex, the experience in your resume. The resume is something different. It's your resume or the curriculum vitae. So a first impression with your experience, not so much. Not so much, but I'm going to account for it. Agustin, then Gilberto. You wanted to speak something else, Agustin? No? Okay, no, he lowered his hand, Gilberto and Valeria.
With a good attitude and answering with example and above acting and formal.
Okay, good attitude. And what was the last part? Can you repeat? Answering what?
And answering with example.
Okay, answering by giving examples. With examples. Okay, that's good. Okay, that also adds up. Okay, that's okay. Valeria, you guys
Don't wear too much makeup.
okay. Don't wear too much makeup. That gives a good impression, but you guys are forgetting something very, very important that happens at the beginning of the interview. Another person? What are you forgetting about? Gilberto, you want to speak again?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'll explain to you this. Yes, for most of it, because it refers, yes, it's referred to the image that you give and all of your attitude and the way that you behave from the beginning to the end of the interview. Yes, it's very important. Your answers are very important. But first impression is not just about the image. It will be the image combined with the way that you greet the other person. Hello, my name is, showing your confidence when you greet the other person. That gives a very good first impression. You need to show your confidence. And like I'm saying, image is very, very important. The way that you answer is very important. But the first impression, the first few seconds that your interviewer is giving you, those are the most important. Well, that's a very good way to start. And then you need to continue doing the same thing, showing with your answers, and then it's going to come with your examples and experience. But the first thing will be showing yourself, your confidence, and it's part of your image. So image is not just about what you are wearing. Image should include also, or should be on the side with who you are, with showing who you really are. And that's why I keep repeating, you need to show your confidence. And part of it should be about the handshake. The handshake is very important. We mentioned that one. And also, part of giving a great first impression will be to remember the name of the person. Because he is going to greet you. For example, Valeria, then that person who is interviewing you is bringing up your resume and it's looking at your picture, and then he goes, Valeria, hi. And he's going to tell you, hi, Valeria, I'm Dinora Monroy. I'm going to be interviewing you today. And then you need to answer back, hi, Dinora. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me here. You're showing that you remember the name immediately. So you are showing that you are paying all the attention to the interviewer and to the company. So yes, and also asking the correct questions. Yeah, it should be part of it. But talking about the very first impression, very, very important. showing your confidence. Do a good handshake. Remember the name of the other person. And of course, yes, your image and all of the attitude around yourself. Okay? Make sure to remember those. So we go to the very, very, very last question. Oh, Carmen, you wanted to participate a little more?
No, I want to
Okay,
participate on the other
on the
one.
next one. Ah, you are saving your spot for the last one. Oh, you're trying to cheat right now. I see
No.
what you're doing. No, just because. Okay, so number 6, what should you never do or say during a job interview? And Carmen, you were already the first one. Go ahead.
We should never say lies. We should always be honest.
Okay, never lie. Remember to always be honest. Very good one. Then I think it was Gilberto waiting for us, I think. Yes.
Don't chew
Gilberto.
gum.
Can you repeat that, please, Gilberto?
Don't chew gum.
Ah, you're remembering those. No, not chew gum. Please, never. Not on an interview. Yes. What else? There comes Agustin.
Don't talk more than necessary.
Okay, that's
Then
important. Do not talk too much. Don't
take
talk.
care of your voice tone
Okay, that's also very important.
and don't say no or no or be negative many times.
Okay, so it's like don't be negative. Yeah, because you remember that really good, Agustin. You need to remember that you are showing a positive attitude. And if you are coming to me and you're showing me that you are very negative, so it's like, why do I ever want to go to the trouble of hiring you and having problems with you? Because I already know that you're going to be negative. So it's like, I don't want you. Yes, correct. Connie?
Don't arrive late.
Okay, that should never happen. That's correct. It should never happen. No. Okay, I should write correct. Don't arrive late. I was trying to just put no late. Okay, anything else? We have Alex. Alejandro.
Don't brag, be humble.
Be humble. Yes. Always important to know where your feet are. Be humble. Okay, don't brag. Don't brag yourself. Yes. Another person? It's part of like the most common, Valeria. Valerie.
Answer the cell phone.
That should never happen during the interview. No, no cell phone, right? No cell phone. Gilberto again.
Don't smoke. Don't eat.
Don't, definitely not. No, don't smoke or eat, right? During the interview. Never should happen during the interview. Do we have an extra one from someone? Nothing through the chat. Let me check if there is something in the chat. There is 2. It says, don't interrupt. That's a very good one, Ramon. So we need to be good listeners and wait for our time. Don't interrupt. And Anna says, don't talk about something you don't really know. Be honest. Exactly. You don't know something about that, just mention that it's better to say that you don't know it than start making a lie or start inventing something. So that's never going to be good. Never, ever, ever. So yes. I'm so glad, and I want to say congratulations for all of you who are being participating, because it seems that you have been paying attention to what we have been learning about interviews, and I really hope with sincerity that you have learned something about the job interviews, because you are in this process right now. Most of you are going to be experiencing this process in the next few days. It's happening because take a look at the calendar. The calendar is already telling us that we are in the 9th week. We are already in the 9th week of the semester, which means actually we are at the middle part of the semester, because the semester, not counting vacation time, not counting the holidays, in full, it has 18 weeks. So right now, during this week, we are in the middle. So with that said, you have only 9 more weeks to complete the task of getting an internship. Besides of your study work. So you have to add that task on your personal schedule, that you need to keep looking for the job, the internship. You need to keep looking for that one. So I'm not trying to put pressure on you. I'm just talking about reality. Reality speaking, it's coming soon, very, very soon. So yes, you better get prepared for that one. All right, so we're moving forward with the class. We're going to check a few tips. These are about online interview tips. Like I said before, you can be having an interview right now through video conference because of the pandemic situation. And also, if you are going for a company that it is out of state, that it is not in Sonora, probably you're looking into a company in Coahuila, in Querétaro, even Chiapas, which is very far away from the place that we are right now. And it can happen. It's really easy just using technology. So if you get yourself one of those interviews that are going to be through a video conference, you need to remember these things. It's just 4 very few tips, but are very useful. So just take a look at them. First one, look directly into the camera and not at the monitor to make good eye contact. Whenever you're answering back, if you're speaking with the other person, you should be looking at the camera. And that's what I'm doing right now. If you take a look at the way that I give you the classes, I'm going to be looking down when I'm reading something, and then I try to go and look back to the camera, because I'm supposed to be looking at you. I need to give you that eye contact that you need. So right now I'm looking at the camera and not at the screen. Yes. So you need to give the impression to your interviewer that you are actually looking at him straight in the eyes. And then keep looking back to the monitor, but remember to look a lot, most of your time, to the camera. And second of all, don't be afraid to ask a question to be repeated. All of the time, it's okay. Like I was doing here, pardon me for picking you as an example. Gilberto, I mentioned like twice, can you repeat please? Because that's okay. And nobody should get mad or upset if you ask, can you repeat? If you didn't answer something correctly, you just politely, in a good manner, ask, can you repeat that please? Or I couldn't listen to the last part, can you repeat? And that's perfectly okay. If you didn't hear it properly, if you don't ask for clarification, you may end up answering something that wasn't supposed to be answered, or you give the wrong idea. So you want to avoid those things. If you didn't understand something, just ask to repeat the question or to phrase the question in a different way, which is perfectly okay. Number 3, the sound system can be less than perfect. I need to apologize to you because these visual aids have some mistakes. I typed it and I'm pretty sure that I typed it correctly, but my PowerPoint kept using Spanish, so it kept switching the words. So I'm gonna correct it before I upload it to you so you can have it for consultation if whenever you want to it. So after the apology, I go back to the class. So the sound system should be okay. You need to prove that your microphone and your speakers and everything is working properly. So it's advisable that you check your computer or your telephone, your cell phone, and that it works properly. You can call a friend or some relative before your interview to make sure that your equipment works properly and that you're not going to have problems. And I will say also, I'm going to add over here that maybe your internet connection is not working properly. So usually when an interview happens, even if it is a video conference, they're going to give you a time. So for that time, you can get either some data from your cell phone, which could give you a better connection, or you can go to a different place where there is better internet connection. So you need to make sure that your video conference is going to go fluently because you want to make sure that the other person, your interviewer, is listening to you in a clear way. Okay. And number 4, be aware of your facial expressions and posture. They convey a large part of your message online. And like I'm saying, you need to remember that your body language also speaks. It speaks from you and it tells a lot about you. So you need to make sure to also practice the way that you are sitting down and the way that you're using your facial expression. Yes. Also the way that you move your eyes, the way that you speak, if you open your mouth or not, you need to make sure that it works. So for that, I will advise you that you go ahead and practice with friends and tell each other how it's looking, how you're looking, and how you're speaking, if you're speaking in a nice tone, if your voice can be understood, and if your webcam is working, if your sound is working. So you need to make sure that you do have the correct equipment, but also internet connection. That's very, very important. And lastly, I want to talk about this. Okay, let's say that you already have an interview. What happens after the interview? Post-interview follow-up. You are the interested person in getting the job. So you should be following up. What does it mean to follow up? Lo que haría después de la entrevista. Okay? So let's see this diagram. And it has in a resume sort of way what you're supposed to be doing. So since it was kind of like big and this comes from U-turn from a post-interview follow-up, a convenient flow chart from the Savvy intern. And it was like very big, so I cut it in 2 and I included the 2 parts in just one slide. So let's take a look at it. And this shows the following. Okay, so you got the interview. You were interviewed, and then what comes next? So, did your interviewer discuss a follow-up date? ¿Te dijeron que te iban a contactar en 2-3 días? So that's the question. Yes? Oh, that's good. Follow the direction. Also, if you haven't already sent a thank you note within the 24 hours after the interview. A thank you note? Exactly. You should consider to establish a follow-up conversation after the interview. So the interview shouldn't be the final point. If you are really interested into that company, well, this should be like a normal rule, but if you're really interested into that company, you need to follow up. Once you completed your interview, you need to go back to your home and write a thank you note. It used to be something that you will send through the mail, but now it's very easy. You just send an email. Okay, so that's for the yes, but also for the no. If you didn't get a follow-up date, then just make sure to send a thank you note and include if there are follow-up procedures for the organization. You can also ask when you finish the interview, can I give you a call or can I send you an email? Is it okay if I send you an email 2 to 3 days to make sure if I'm going to be hired or not? You can also ask, but make sure to do this. Thank you note. Send something. Let them know that you're interested and that you keep looking into their company. So after that, if you have already a follow-up and if they respond to you, what happens next? Okay. If they respond to you, they will have a date. You will set up a date and that will be okay. Then you are going to keep talking to them. But what happens if no? Has more than a week gone by since your last follow-up? You need to consider that about that time frame, about weeks. A week, that's fine. Then if it has gone a week, then you have about more than a week. It will be like 1 to 2 weeks to keep the follow-up. And what's the follow-up? You can either give them a call or you can write an email to them asking if the process has finished and if you are still considered to be a candidate for that position. So you need to keep talking with the company. If it hasn't been 2 weeks, then you can go back and keep talking to them. Keep talking. It's like a circle. Keep talking to them. Send them an email. Give them a call. Ask if they already filled up the position or if you are still being a candidate. Okay. If it already passed the time of 2 weeks after your interview, now it's time to give them a final call or another email when that time passes, about 2 weeks. And if they don't say anything, just it's about time to either apply again with them or just forget about them. That's okay. You can just, what it says here, speed up, like keep yourself up. It's fine. Keep sending your resume. Keep looking for a better network of people that can help you with this. Keep practicing, keep answering interview questions, and keep on keeping on. Keep trying. That's what it's telling you. Okay. So in resume is what comes after the interview. It's you finish up the interview, you send them a thank you note, then you wait for them to contact you. If they don't contact you in about a week, you give them another email or a call and you ask. If then another week passes, then you call and send an email again. And if there is no answer back, then you keep trying with some more different companies. But you have to do this for every company that you get the interview. If you have been interviewed by 5 different companies, you keep following up with those 5 different companies because you need to make sure that you get a job. And in this case, what you are targeting right now is you're targeting your internship. So you need to make sure to get the internship. Why? Because in order to graduate from this university, in order to get your degree, you need to complete your internship. There is no other way. So yes, you need to keep trying. And with that said, that's kind of getting into the final round of this class and presentation. So we're going to wrap things up. And I'm just going to remind you that we've been talking about interviews, and it is very, very important that you get yourself practice, that you understand the questions, and for every company that you take the time to research about the company, to know a little more about the company, because there are also questions that are about the same company. And also, they're going to give you the time, mostly at the end of the interview, and they're going to tell you if you have any questions for them. And you should be prepared to ask something. And you should be prepared to ask something smart, not just anything that it may not be related either to the company or to the job position. So you need to make sure that you do your research and that you study, and the most important thing, that you practice before you do an interview. Okay? Hopefully you have learned something from these few classes that we talk about this, and that you are ready and that you are starting sending your resume and or your curriculum vitae to different companies. I also want to remind you that if you have any questions about your resume or your curriculum vitae, you can again keep talking with me. You can talk also with your advisor, which is, I guess, Professor Penelope, or any of your professors. We can give you some help. And you can also get help from your friends around too, to perfect your resume. Okay, any questions?
Not yet. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Thank you for coming to this class. You already have two more homeworks that are adding to the ones that you already have in your other classes. And so you have a week to finish, to complete them. These two homeworks that I gave you this week are super easy, super easy. The first one, it's about filling in the blanks. So it's about the general idea of the first impression for a job interview. And it has 6 different options of words, and you just need to fill in the blanks. I gave you the text and you just complete the text. And the second one, it's about your thoughts on the job interview. You're going to be sincere about how you feel and what you need to get better. And so you're going to have a discussion. So you give a comment and you wait for the comments of your classmates, and you give a positive comment or critique to your classmates. So that's very simple. It's not going to take not even like half an hour to complete the 2 homeworks. So it's very, very easy for this week as we are closing down unit number 2. And so with that said, I'm just wrapping things up, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a nice rest of the week and enjoy it. Try to be safe. Please remember to cover yourself up if you're going out. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.